One of the biggest lies or traps that people fall into when they're on the personal development journey is convincing themselves that they have to stop enjoying life in order to evolve and get to that next level. It's quite the opposite. Life is short, which I always say, and you have to have a big degree of enjoyment. I mean, that's what life is about. You have to enjoy yourself. Play does not stop, or you don't graduate from playing once you become an adult. Play needs to happen all throughout your life. You have to get into the habits or get into the hobbies and activities that you love doing. One of the biggest myths that entrepreneurs fall into, or I should say new entrepreneurs fall into because they're gullible and they don't really get the idea of entrepreneurship. They don't really know what it takes. When you find someone who hasn't made a single dollar on their own, they've only had a job, they're just watching all these people on YouTube saying, put your head down, grind 24/7, 12-hour work days, 15-hour work days, wake up at 4 a.m. That is very silly on the surface level because in all reality, it's not about putting your head down and grinding and working as hard as you can, because you have a lot of people who work extremely hard and their bank account does not show for it and they're not achieving their goals. They're actually just unhappy and they're forcing a lot of their activity. It's not about putting in long hours and working yourself to death. It's about being clear, having clarity on exactly where you want to go and what you need to do in order to get to that place, and really just knowing what you want overall. A lot of people don't even know what they want. If someone were to ask me, okay, how many hours for this specific business, how many hours do I need to put in per day? That's an impossible question. I mean, you know what needs to be done, but it's not about the hours. It's about the focused time. One, how clear are you up here? Two, actually, one should be just how clear are you up there and do you actually know what you want in life? And then two, what is the goal for this business? What is your personal goal? What are the metrics that need to be hit? It's all numbers when it comes down to it. You can break down any business model into numbers, into how many people you need to talk to, all that good stuff. You have to stop focusing on how early to wake up and how many hours should I be working. In our reality, a lot of people that claim they're working 12-hour days, 15-hour days, whatever you hear online, these people, some actually are, but a lot of them are doing very unimportant tasks for 80% of that time. So it's like they can brag about working 12-hour days, but in all reality, they're doing 2 to 3 hours of important work, like 2 to 3 hours of work that's actually going to move the needle. And once you shift your focus onto items that's going to move the needle, you're going to see a huge change. One, in the enjoyment in your life, and then two, it's going to be like less wear and tear on you. You're going to be able to last longer, sustain longer. You're not going to give up after a few months of trying to get this business down packed and achieve your goals. When I was all in the short-term rental business, I would say this was my first very successful entrepreneurship journey, because I've done other things in the past before that, like a few things, and no venture failed. I mean, I made money on every single entrepreneurial venture that I got into, but the short-term rentals is what made me the most money. And when that was going well, when that business was at its peak, I was bringing in on average about $15,000 a month revenue. It wasn't all profit, but the business was doing on average about $15,000 a month. And at that time, I was working less than 20 hours a week. I'll tell you that for sure. It could be 15 hours or so, but I mean, some weeks less than 15 hours. Like, I was not working full-time hours. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this because it's a reality check. One, it showed me that you can bring in a lump sum of money, more money than the average person, and you don't have to grind yourself till you're tired every single day. I mean, I played a lot. Like, I played a lot of pickleball, basketball. I still played video games around that time. I got a lot done as far as what needed to be done on a daily basis with my business, but I also just enjoyed life. I dove headfirst into my hobbies. I hung out with friends, family. I experienced true freedom when this money was coming in. I mean, it's a simple formula. So once I realized that it wasn't about waking up at 5 a.m. and doing tasks until 8 p.m. and then going to bed and repeating it, something unlocked for me. People need to simply simplify their business, their financial goals, their income goals on a monthly basis, weekly, yearly, whatever. They need to simplify and break down every number. And then from there, you know what to expect on a daily basis, or you can predict what your workload needs to be. Now, don't get me wrong, I have had moments where I put in long hours working. Now, a lot of those moments I wasn't very clear. I was still figuring things out, and all entrepreneurs are going to have some type of period where they are figuring things out. And I was extremely ambitious. Don't get me wrong, I still am. And I was extremely ambitious when I was working part-time hours. It's not about the ambition level, but when you're in that period where you're still figuring things out and you may be extremely hungry and trying to make the success happen as quick as possible, you'll notice that you may be working some longer hours, but it's not because that is the only key to get to where you want to get to. I mentioned that the long hours don't really matter. When you wake up doesn't really matter. Now, it's obvious. I enjoy waking up early, and it's not because I need to put in more work hours necessarily. It's because if you wake up at a certain time, one, I always speak about meditating. So if meditation is a part of your daily life, or you're trying to make it a part of your daily life, you want to wake up really early to the point where you're not prone to being bothered by anybody else. Everybody else is asleep. Nobody's hitting your phone up. If you have kids or a spouse, pets, whatever, you are able to be in your own space and start your day how you want to start it with nobody else bothering you. So that is a benefit of waking up early, but it's not necessary for success. It's up to you. It's whatever you want to do. Now, the one thing that, well, there's multiple things, but this one thing is an absolute must, and that's consistency. It's cliche, but it's true. It's cliche for a reason. It's because it's very true when you're, especially when you're venturing off on your own and trying to start a business. You can't go hard one day and then the next day only play, and then you get back to your work the next day, because then you're starting bad habits. And when you decide to just put it off to the side completely one day, that one day turns into two, two turns into four. You look up and a few weeks have passed and you have not moved the needle in your business at all. So even though I'm not encouraging you to grind until you're just extremely tired and it's time for bed and to repeat, you have to do some type of activity every single day. I am all for evolving every single day when it comes to personal development. If you're starting a business, whatever you're doing, you have to chain together as many days as possible so you can make those new habits and, really form the building blocks of your new life that you're creating. So don't become so obsessed with your goal that you ignore the life that's already in front of you and just try to toss away any enjoyment that you're currently having. Life is short, so set that goal, find out what you really want, evolve every single day, and just enjoy the life that you have in front of you and the people that are contributing to it in a positive manner. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you with the next one.